channel, folks. Stitching with Jolly on the Road. I wanted to let you know that in the StitchCon program, they had my name spelled wrong. They had Donna right, but it's Stitching with Jolly, Jolley, on the road, not Jolly. So, Stitching with Jolly on the Road is the name of my YouTube channel. So, we got that out of the way. Everybody's done their StitchCon updates but me. It's been 2 months since I made a video. I cannot believe it. Couple of updates about StitchCon for me. I took the light I bought. Remember I said last year I took my big light, and this year I bought this wonderful little daylight light. It was perfect for the table. It worked like a charm. I loved it. And also my little magnifier that I believe is also daylight and clips on was perfect. Both those worked perfect. And I took 4 projects to work on. I worked on all 4 projects, and I absolutely loved that I limited myself, and it was awesome. One of the things I took was this Mill Hill kit, which is a little camper, which is definitely me. And I hadn't even started it yet, so I started it at StitchCon, and here's how much I got done. And I've worked on it a little bit since I've been home as well. So, love it, can't wait to finish it. Definitely a quick and easy project to work on. And then I really wanted to work on Happy Camper, which I bought at StitchCon last year. And I had the fabric, I had all the floss, and I just was ready to start it. So I was super excited to, I think I had started it and gotten this much done right here, but I got to do these wonderful little bees that are so gorgeous. This is a really high count, like 40 count. I can't remember exactly, but super tiny. But I love, love, love the way it's coming out. So that was a lot of fun. Had a big dilemma when I started this because I had not organized any of my floss. They were all just in the original bundles, and I really need to be organized when I'm working on a project, or I just, that's just part of my OCD problems, I guess. But, so, at StitchCon, everybody gives you these little floss hangers and everything, and I had got, someone had gave me quite a few of these. There was like 5 or 10 on a whatever they gave us. And I loved them. But it wasn't, so I put some on there, but it wasn't enough to do all the colors. So I went on a hunt to find the person who was giving these out. And she wasn't there at the table at the time when I went, but her table mates gave me a couple more bundles. And it is Wilson 3D Designs. And I highly recommend that you go there. She's from Lehigh Acres, Florida. Super, super sweet. They have a ton of different floss drops. Her name is Pam Wilson. So she said she may rebrand soon to Wilson Stitch Company. So check that out. I met her later in the day, and she gave me more. Gave me a different color. One was white, one was ivory, whatever, and absolutely loved them. She showed me how she uses these. Number one, they have a little hole for your extra thread, and she also showed me that you can also do this with it for storage, and just put that thread right in there, and voila, you can store it that way as well, so you don't have all this hanging down. Love them, love them, love them. They're a great size. They're out of a really nice plastic. They're easy to write on. I love them. So I want to give a huge shout out to Pam Wilson. So that was super great. And her table mates, who were super great to share that with me, made stitching on that so much nicer. I also took Raven Blue, which I'm working on for my granddaughter. The Blue Raven from Heaven and Earth Design. And while it may not look like I have a lot done on this, I do. I have stitched quite a bit. Trying to fill this in and actually get a square going here. A whole rectangle here, I guess. So slowly filling that part in down there. So that's what I worked on also. And then I also worked on the historic tall ships, the one called the Storm. Remember, I had mentioned my goals were to work on the 2 projects for my grandson and my granddaughter for this year, and that's what I took to work on. And yes, I'm not sure which way this goes. I think it goes this way. And got a lot more of the sails done on this. So that was, I love stitching on this. It's an easy count. It's beautiful fabric. It just stitches up really, really nice. So I did stitch on those, and I was super excited to stitch on those. Last year at StitchCon, this was my gift, along with a few other goodies that went with it. I absolutely loved it. Cannot remember the lady's name that made it for me, but I love it. I think we should, let me see if she wrote on here. She wrote StitchCon 2023, but she didn't write her name. So I loved that one. And this year, I picked a bag that had bees on it, and I got this amazing design with a whole bunch of other goodies. And what was surprising was the lady that did this one was sitting at the table kind of behind us. So she watched me as I picked it out. And of course I stood at my table and opened it and was oohing and on over every little thing, and she got to watch the entire thing. So that was super, super sweet, and I did get a picture with her. Love the colors, love the design. It's absolutely gorgeous. She also gave me this amazing little bag she made, and I had all kinds of little beeswax in it, and bit of honey candy, which I also ate, and lots of little goodies. So that was a really fun project. And of course I gave away my little tree thing. I will put a picture of that in here and let you see the tree that I made. It was a Christmas tree design. Along with stitching, what else I have been stitching on was I have been working diligently on my California Dreamin' Heaven and Earth design, the really, really big one. It's over here. Let's see if I can get it. Really, really big one. And I have made substantial progress on that. This is goes down to page 1, the bottom of the page. It's not quite page over this way yet. But trying to work in somewhat of a block, which is really hard for me. Trying to figure out starting threads from far away and ending threads. That's always a toughie for me, but I've really enjoyed stitching on this, and haven't stitched on it in about a month since a vacation and coming back from our vacation to Beulah Beach. So that is what I've been stitching on. But I love that that's coming to life, and you can see that parrot there that's in the design. So that's what I've been stitching on. I went on vacation to Beulah Beach, my church camp in Ohio, where I also hold a spring and fall crafters retreat. I just went there for 2 weeks for vacation for our big Bible missionary conference, and get to see all my friends that I went to church with, and we raised our families together, which is always fun. Went to a quilt show and bought a few things there. And one of them is this baby panel. My son's roommate is having a baby. And so I bought this baby panel so I can make her a little baby blanket. And I also bought this navy, it's a whole cloth quilt, however you want thing. And I bought that at the quilt show. And I also bought this adorable little red suitcase. How cute is this? It is so cute. And it was $12. I even bought my best girlfriend one. How can you go wrong? And it's not just a little red suitcase. It's full of sewing supplies. Look at this. It's got the famous pin cushion. It has a pack of needles. It has thread. It has a tape measure. It has scissors. And it's just adorable. And a seam ripper. And it's just adorable for $12. I loved it. So, and it actually came in handy while we were camping. We needed to measure something, and we didn't have anything to measure anything with. So I just whipped out this little tape measure, and I said, oh yeah, I got a tape measure right here. So used it within the first 3 days of having it. So super cute. I think it'll be super cute to hold my cross stitch stuff in as well. So that was super fun. I did buy a few things at Cross Stitch and the Quilt Show pattern-wise that I'm going to show you. So one of the ladies sitting at another table was working on this particular design, and it's called, I don't like showing it with the plastic because of the glare, so hey, just take it out of the plastic, people. We appreciate you doing that. It's called Northern Expressions Needlework Twisted Band Sampler. And these are different stitches, and this one is obviously done in a rainbow design. I mean, you can pick whatever colors you want. But when I saw this and saw her working on it, I thought, I have got to do that at some point in my life. So several of us actually saw it, and several of us ordered it. I actually like it just the way it is. So it will be interesting to work on. I have no fabric for this yet. Northern Expressions Needlework, Point Dover, Ontario, Canada. I can't remember where I ordered it from, but I did look it up, and I ordered it online from somewhere. I probably should have recorded that, but I didn't. Also, I bought this at the Annex, the 4th of July Rules by Primrose Cottage. You know, I love all things red, white, and blue and Americana, and this was super, super cute. And I just loved it. So that'll be a fun stitch. I really don't have anything that I've ever stitched long, but I do have several places in my house where I could hang something like that. So I bought that. Of course, I had to Come to the Garden, which was the exclusive StitchCon design for the year. And of course, we all had our picture taken in front of the display that they had set up, our table group, and that was a lot of fun. And of course, I still haven't done the one from last year, even though I do have the fabric and the thread for that. So, super cute. And this is by Sue Hill's Designs for StitchCon 2024. And I'm not sure if I bought this or if I found it on a freebie table. Sam Sarah Design Studio. And just super cute little flag made out of stars and stripes. And it says it has the stars and then it has end stripes, and I just thought that was really cute too, so hopefully I'll get to that someday. Then when I was at the quilt show, this quilt show really has an amazing ton of vendors. It's in Ohio, it's in Worcester at the fairgrounds, and it's put on by the local quilt guild there in Worcester. And they have a small section that is the quilt show, though I think they probably have 200 quilts, but they have a lot of them hanging up along the walls where you couldn't get to them, but you could see them, of course, and then also displayed down below. But they have a huge amount of vendors there. I mean, I've never seen so many vendors at a quilt show. And you kind of like to support them, and should I buy this, should I buy that, and I found this Radiant Star. I love stars. I love a star quilt. And this one was quite unique. It has lots of little pieces. And I was looking at this one, and another lady was looking at another one that had a lot of applique around it as well. And we kind of talked each other into buying it. You know, I'll buy this one and do it if you buy that one and do it. And of course, I don't know who she is. I don't remember her, but maybe we'll stay in contact. Maybe we'll get in touch with each other. This is Quilt Designs by Lori Smith. From My Heart to Your Hands, a collection of quilts and patterns to warm the hearts of their creators and loved ones. When I think quilts, old-fashioned quilts, this is what I think of. Just a patchwork of amazing stuff, and that it also has applique, because I do want to improve my applique skills. And speaking of applique skills, right before I went on vacation, we had a lady come to our quilt guild and do an applique class, and this was my Kiss My Stash was mine, and this was all done on the machine. It actually was already laser cut out. I bought a pattern to cut out my own, but in the sake of time, I went and bought the kit that she had. And have fun stitching it, had fun learning about how she makes her stitches smaller when you're in narrow spaces, and how when she turns to know your machine. Know when that needle's coming up, know when that needle's going down, know when that over stitch is going if you're using the blanket stitch like I did here. that's very, very important. And, you know, sometimes we just try to fudge it and, you know, it's not so neat, where hers were much neater. Now, when I actually quilt this, there was some detail work that, you know, I would quilt around in here and add some detail. And there's a cat down here in the bottom, you probably can't see, but where I would add some more detail to it by thread stitching or whatever you want to call it. So this was a very, very fun class. And several of us went to it, so I have to get it done so I can show it at the Quilt Guild. I'm also part of an applique guild here in Mooresville, North Carolina, and we are having a lady come and teach next week an applique class. And I was wondering where my book was, but I don't have it at the moment. Should have got that. Hand applique. And we're going to learn her method for hand applique and the wonderful tiny little stitches that they make. We're going to make one block of a quilt to practice on. And then if you want to, of course, make the whole quilt, you can. Of course, it's a flower design. It has points and wedges and curves and all the parts of an applique that you need to learn to applique around. So I'm super excited about that. That's coming up next Thursday. Let's see, what else? What else is in my notes here? When I was camping, one of my most favorite things to do at Beulah Beach, which is right on the shores of Lake Erie, was I took sunset pictures every night, which I always do. But this time I took them every night and I posted them on Facebook. And several people mentioned that they love seeing my sunset pictures. And actually one of the guys that lives there said I'd never seen so many sunsets until I started watching you on Facebook. So that was really, really a lot of fun. Last time I did my YouTube channel, I talked about wanting to learn how to embroider or how to quilt on my embroidery machine. I had an appointment for this week, but that didn't happen. We had the wonderful Hurricane Debbie come through, and so that didn't happen on Thursday. And this week I have to work all week, but hopefully we will get that set up where I'm going to go over and take a class on that. But let me show you what I've been doing. So I did take a class at one point on, I can't remember her name, on embroidering. And one of the things we did was we created a template by actually stitching the quilting design on a heavy-duty interfacing. This design came with my creative icon too. I just wanted to stitch it out and see how it was. This would be for an 8-inch block because it's 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. This one is also from my creative icon, built-in designs. That was very, very pretty. I really like that one. And also 7 3/4 and 7 3/4 for an 8-inch square. I bought some designs for Designs by Juju, which come in different formats and different sizes. So this one is a 7.5 by 7.5, so this would be your 8-inch design. And then this is 8.5 by 8.5, so this would be your 9-inch square. And this one is 9.5 by 9.5, so this would be your 10-inch square. And on these, they have a start point and a stop point. And so what you have to do when you're quilting on your embroidery machine with an embroidery design, you have to decide the size of your design. You have to measure it, and then you have to measure your quilt top and see how many times am I going to have to repeat this on that quilt top. Is it going to be 4 across, 5 across, 6 across? Is it going to come out evenly on the edges? Am I going to want to start in the middle and go out from each side? Can I start right at the side and end up perfectly on the other side? So you have to do a little math work, and then simply hoop your design. Start here, it's going to stop right here. Then you're going to re-hoop it and have your starting point right there. Now they do say that the metal hoops, dime embroidery has them, make this very nice to be able to do that, because you can just kind of slide your quilt through there. Becky from Quilting with Power Tools or Sewing with Power Tools, whatever her channel is, has a demo on this, and I do like that frame. I just haven't had the extra money to buy it. When you're not working, you don't get paid. That's a biggie. So I wanted to meet with the instructor from my sewing machine store to see how she actually did this rehooping. Now the Creative Icon does have a laser where it will display where the embroidery design is going to be on your fabric. I'm just not real good at it yet, so that's what I wanted help with, and should be able to pinpoint that spot exactly where that's going to go. And if not, you can always do precise positioning where you actually move the needle or the machine a little bit to get everything lined up the way you want it. So I'm super excited to try that. I do have 2 quilt tops that I want to do that on. Whether I do an all-over design or whether I do a design in one block and a different design in another block, you can do it that way as well. I also have a Need a Good Design free motion quilting CD that has all different sizes, from squares to borders, and some of her designs. That brings up, my son gave me his old desktop computer when he downsized from living in a house to living in an RV, and I finally got online with Geek Squad to get it updated in the way I wanted it. And I went to put in my Anita Good Design CD and realized that there's no CD player in this wonderful desktop computer that has 4 different hard drives in it that store an amazing amount of scrapbooking stuff, which I have this much on. So he either has one in storage that we're going to tomorrow, or I think they're like $20, $25 you can buy a portable CD player. So I want to get that started, and so that was my next learning experience, my next project. So that was going to be fun. A little bit of a family update. My granddaughter, who is 21, went to Europe with her boyfriend for a month. They had an amazing time. They saw some amazing things, and I'm thankful she came home safely. They both did, and we got together for a family night, and they put the pictures on the TV, and they told us about every place they were and what they were experiencing and what it was like. They spent 2 weeks with his mom in an Airbnb, and then they spent 2 weeks on their own staying in hostels and traveling, nothing but a backpack, and they do a lot of riding the train. They bought the ticket where you can ride the train for the entire time they're there. And so it was quite an experience listening to her experience. So that was a lot of fun. My 19-year-old grandson has graduated this spring and is working at the rec center and loving it. He's a lifeguard there and working his way up the ladder, and he's enjoying that job very much. And the soon-to-be 13-year-old at the end of the month, who had super long hair, made the decision to cut his hair. It was probably around Mother's Day. I might have mentioned it in my last video. So he cut his beautiful long locks, donated them to Wigs for Kids, and now is sporting a short hair. It's not super short, but short compared to all the way down to his waist. So loving that. I made a date with all of my family that is here, which is our 2 daughters and their families. When we came back from our vacation in Ohio, we were going to go tubing on a river. Not tubing behind a boat. Tubing on a river, where you sit in an inner tube and you do kind of the lazy river thing. Because we have been to Carowinds water park several times with the grandchildren, the 5 and 7-year-old, wanting to do the lazy river, but their idea of the lazy river is they don't even want to float in a tube. They want to run around the entire river with Nana, playing monster, chasing them, which wears me out, while Papa sits in the inner tube and floats down the river. So finally, the last time we went, we said, rule number 1, you have to float with Nana or Papa 1 time around the river before we chase you like a monster. So we got double tubes and we floated with them, even though that was still a workout. So, and then we had to chase them. So this time we booked a place, and thank you so much to my daughter Kelsey, who really jumped on the bandwagon and made all the reservations and everything. We were on the New River up in Boone, North Carolina, and we were in tubes that had a bottom to them, had a backrest to them, had a cup holder on them, so you didn't really have to get wet. It was really a fun experience, and it was funny because my daughter Kelsey got in first, and she tied to Price's, the 5-year-old's tube, and he got in, and they were kind of up against the bank. He immediately saw a spider and freaked out and jumped right out of his tube into the water, which was refreshing. It wasn't super cold, but it was refreshing. And that's really funny because he loves to pick up spiders and bugs. And I thought, what are you yelling and screaming for? So every time we got to the side, he was going to freak out, you know. We had so much fun. Some of us tied up together. Some of us floated together. Anderson, the 13-year-old, had a friend with him. And it was a wonderful time. And my husband was a little concerned about whether he was going to have fun or not. And he kept saying, well, maybe next year I won't go. And when it was all said and done, he said, I want to do that again with just you and me. So I think he enjoyed it as much as I did. School is starting up. My grandson, Anderson, the 13-year-old, actually had the first day of school canceled, which was Thursday, because of Hurricane Debbie. We personally got 6.5 inches in our yard, maybe a little more, of rain that day, and they did cancel school due to roadways flooding and whatever. So, but he is at school, and for the first time in any of the Browning family, he will be riding the school bus. About a mile and a half from his house, his mom drops him off at the bus pickup for Pine Lake Prep, and he gets to ride the bus there and back for the first time, and he's okay with that. Daughter Kelsey and husband Theron are buying a business, and so it's going to be changing our babysitting schedule a little bit. I'm going to be taking off Mondays from Chick-fil-A, and I will be getting the kids off the bus on Mondays. Theron's off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I think Kelsey's going to be off on Thursdays, and Papa's going to pick him up on Fridays and bring him home. So a little bit different than last year, but still keeping the kids on a Friday night, which I love. You know, it's just great having them here and being able to grandparent them. New update, I joined the gym. I used to go to the gym all the time for about 4 straight years. I actually worked with a trainer. I was actually in really good shape. Actually lost a lot of weight doing that, and I really need to get back into joining the gym. I need to work the muscles to protect the bones, according to my doctor and everybody else. So I joined Planet Fitness just this week. And my insurance does not pay for it like a silver sneaker thing. I don't know why. My husband's does. We retired from Ford Motor Company under different contracts, and so his pays for his, but mine doesn't pay for mine. But it's only $15 a month. So upcoming craft retreat is coming up at the end of September. So not too far away at Beulah Beach. This is the one I put on. I have about 21 ladies, I think, coming to join us. Several new ladies from the local quilt guild that one of the ladies goes to is coming. A new lady, new girls that I met at our Bible Missionary Conference are coming. So I'm always talking about it. We have room for about 20, so we're a little bit over. That's great. The Beulah Beach Conference Center has just finished their brand new Sunset Cafe, which is a brand new cafeteria. It's absolutely gorgeous. And being a former worker in the old kitchen, my husband and I both really appreciate all the space in the kitchen, from storage, walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler, prep area, put your dirty dishes area, the whole thing. Absolutely amazing. Sits right on the edge of the lake. They have a beautiful area in the back. I'll try to insert some pictures at the end of this of the sun setting behind the Sunset Cafe. So all in all, though it's been a busy summer, the last month has been great. You know, still working, back to work, have a couple more trips coming up in the fall, get away with my sisters, and then my retreat, and then also another scrapbooking retreat in October in Asheville. So in between I work so I can pay for my retreats. But need to get back into cross stitching. Haven't got a lot of scrapbooking done either, but have been working on a few projects here and there, so that's good. So life has been great. Family has been great. Friends are great. I feel really, really blessed to have so many friends that I get to see at Beulah Beach. And